Hello and welcome to the first in a series of interviews where I'm going to be talking to a member of each new team that arises from the dust of this shuffle madness. And to start things off, we've got Quinn from Quincy Crew, which I guess makes this the Quinterview, the artist formerly known as CNC, who has just reshuffled his team, which now involves Yawar, himself, and then Khezu, Ponlo, and MiLAN will also be playing on this new team. Quite the mix. And I'm interested to find out exactly how this new team is going to work. So first, I'm just going to ask the easy question. Quinn, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm chilling.
Cool, cool. What have you been doing since TI? Just playing more Dota or hanging out with real life friends, or what's the deal?
I chilled for a little bit, like immediately after I got back, but I mean, I don't really do much else besides Dota, so I just started playing Dota and watching replays, and I guess prepping for next year again. So
Yeah, I mean that's it's definitely the grind which you've always been kind of a big kind of bigger for, I guess, in often at the top of the leaderboards and stuff. Especially over like the TI period, like pre-TI when we had those crazy pubs. I always noticed you at the top of the leaderboards, like battling it out with the likes of GBK and nothing to say for that top spot. Did you find those pubs like was that a really fun time to play pubs for you in the pre-TI moments?
it was pretty fun, yeah. I think the way that the U games were was that you'd always have like it was like 2v2s, and then like you have three pretty bad players. But I mean, at least you get to I mean, you land against like a TI mid every game, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, it was pretty cool to watch. I was casting a lot of them just for fun. What do you think? Like you said, mentioned the bad players. What are those bad players doing wrong? Like, what's the biggest mistake they make?
I don't know if there's one specific biggest mistake. I think it's just a general like lack of understanding of things, or I mean
Yeah,
that's what Dota is, right? It's just a compounding of understandings across the board, and they just lack, X number of those that causes them to be not that good.
sure, sure. I guess that's makes a lot of sense. All right. I do want to address the rumors because a lot of people before this roster announcement were saying that you were going to be invited to EG. Was there any truth in that at all, or was it just nonsense?
Um, I think that's just people speculating because like NA, I'm NA, you know, it's just I think it's just speculation or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of like people saying that Abed were going to leave, right? And then I guess it would make sense, but seems like that rumor is false. I mean, it seems really easy to start rumors right now. I guess that's kind of the shuffle period in a nutshell, though, right?
Yeah, I mean everybody wants to theory craft about what's happening and stuff. It's just fun to see what the changes will be for next year. I think rosters haven't changed that much in a while, and because of COVID partly, and then also because even the prior year there weren't really that many major changes, just like one little thing here or there. So I think this year there being more changes is just like exciting for people.
PPD on Twitter. Did you see his tweets at all?
No, I don't use Twitter. What did he say?
That's probably a good move. He said that his initial tweet was about NA players. You know, he wanted to have the NA region represented by NA players. Then he changed his mind and said, "Oh, that tweet was lame, but I still think it'd be cool to have NA players representing NA teams internationally." He said exactly, in my opinion, rather than having players flying in from around the world for an easier opportunity to attend in international tournaments. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I feel like in Dota it makes no sense to consider regional boundaries other than like it's people have to get visas and they have to be able to like be in a place or not playing on ping stuff like that. Like I feel like that's the only thing you should really consider. At the end of the day, everyone's just trying to get the best team together. And maybe there's some things about like playing in the same region. There's some like some cultural or whatever things like this that make people mesh better or get along better, etc. But don't think it's impossible to find those things with people internationally as well. And I feel like at the end of the day, you're just trying to make the best roster you can with teammates that make sense and improve and etc. So I feel like where they're from is not really relevant.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, let's talk about your new and recurring teammates. Starting out with Ponlo, I think that's a really interesting one. I mean, he's kind of young, unproved, but very high MMR. What do you guys think that he brings to the team so much that you brought him over from SEA?
Um, I think, I think he's just a very hard worker. I think he's a smart player. I think he's easy to talk to. I think he's someone who's hungry to improve, and has good ideas and is just very like he just wants to get the most out of his role and takes responsibility. I think he has a lot of good qualities. I talked to him some. We were looking for a five, and I think he just seemed like a good option. I'm looking forward to playing with him.
So it's sort of the hunger which you like to see in him, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I think Dota is like it's a marathon, not a sprint, right? Like how you do it the next major or the second major or even the third major. Like it's nice to do well and stuff, but it's not really particularly relevant because TI is just like the only thing that matters that much in the Dota season. So you want people who can continue to improve and improve and improve and aren't like you don't want like sprinters, right? I mean, you need to sprint at the end, but you need like continued and constant improvement over a period of time. To be able to do that, I think is really important because if you're behind other teams, then you need to pass them somehow, right? And I mean, that takes like working a lot and also working smartly.
For sure, for sure. So with Yawar, obviously he's such a consistent carry player, I would say. Did you guys plan always on staying together as a duo, or was this just kind of how it panned out?
Um, I think we were both interested in playing with each other again. I mean, everybody after TI ends, they sort of like everybody is open to playing with like a lot of times people are open to playing with each other, but you kind of sit around, you wait and see what other opportunities come your way, right? I'm sure if
Yeah,
Puppy knocked on our doors or whatever, we would, we'd open.
of
Um,
course.
but that wasn't the case, right? So I think that's how it is for most people. I mean, that's how it was for me and Yawar. Is we're open to playing with each other, but if other of us got a better offer, then we'd say, yeah, go play with them instead. That makes more sense because people have to make the best decisions for them.
Fair enough, fair enough. All right, so we've got Khezu playing in on the off lane, which I think a lot of people are going to be excited about. Obviously, he was your coach for the TI tournament. What did he bring to that TI run of yours, which kind of made you believe in him so much?
Um, I think I just got along with him really well. I think I respected his ideas on the game, his work ethic. Once again, I think he's a very hard worker and someone who just does Dota all the time. Um, yeah, I think I just got along with him really well. I think he brought good vibes, and he was fun to be around, fun to watch replays with, etc. Um, I think it was just yeah, it was just a nice experience.
Cool. So, do you think that being the captain from the offlaner, it's like a bigger challenge than being offlaner as a five?
Um, maybe I'm not 100% sure. I think this team has a lot of communicators, and a lot of people who can take partial leadership. So I don't think it's some like puppy or Kuro type of thing.
Yeah.
Um, I think also there have been like people who captain from the offlane, or there are teams who the coach is the captain, or the leadership is diversified. Like I don't think anyone would look at Spirit and say Maposhka is like if you can hand on the fist, I am the leader type of captain. But I mean, they obviously won TI and did very well. So I think the types of leadership can be varied, and I don't think it necessarily has to come from one role specifically.
Was the old Quincy crew? Was it kind of a mixture of everyone kind of participating in the shot calling and everything, or was it mostly SVG?
Um, I think in every team there is contribution from every player. I think it just varies to what degree. I think maybe in the old days, it was more like one person says everything, but I think that is pretty uncommon nowadays. Even like team secrets and stuff, I'm pretty sure that's not how those teams work. Maybe Puppy says more, but everyone says something. People have different strengths at different points in the game, etc. Um, I'd say Quincy was probably me and Avery talking the most, but everybody participated, obviously.
Okay, cool, cool. So, I mean, it was a long ride with you and the Quincy Crew boys. You went through various iterations: forward, newbie, chaos, Quincy Crew. Was it a hard goodbye to say goodbye to them all to finally part ways?
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because it's like goodbye, but you're also most likely gonna see people again at LANs or
Yeah,
like in
true.
pubs or whatever. So it's not like you're just never gonna see them again or whatever, because you probably will see them again and you'll like hang out at an after party or whatever. I mean, if after parties return or whatever the heck the case may be.
Yeah.
So it's like, obviously it's not the same when you're not on the same team with people, but like it's also not like you're quitting Dota or something. Like that's different.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. All right. What about Team Undying then? Do you think personally that they made the right decision in sticking together for another year?
I have no idea. I don't know what type of offers they got. Um, Oftentimes people like they didn't do that well at TI, so realistically they probably didn't get like the most insane offers, right? So maybe they got some individuals of them got offers from smaller teams. Maybe they decided that the familiarity that their team has, or they believe in this like building something over a long period of time, I think it's probably a fine decision. I think realistically, they probably didn't get any insane offers, and if you don't get insane offers, then a lot of the time it feels nice to continue building on something you have been building on rather than to YOLO into something new. I mean, sometimes a change is nice, it just sort of depends on where they're at, and it seems they were in a position where, the familiarity was nice.
Fair enough. Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. I mean, there does seem to be a degree of camaraderie in that team, at least from what they're displaying outwardly, that's for sure. All right, so moving into the next season of the DPC for NA then, do you think it's looking like less scary, more scary, or the same as last season? Or I guess I shouldn't say scary. I guess I should say competitive than last season.
I think it's probably comparable unless some EU team region hops. Um, I think unless barring that the case, I think it's probably similar. To be honest, I hope people region hop. I think it's good for if like more competition is always better, and I also think it's just fun, So I hope there's
True.
region hopping. We'll see what happens, but I think that sounds fun.
You think it's likely, though?
Likely, I think it's possible. I'm not sure about likely,
Yeah.
but I think it's possible.
Okay, well then, in that case, last question. Where do you think the next TI winner will come from? Which region do you think it will come from?
Um, I have no idea. I would like it to be me, but if not me, I'm not a prophet. So I
Yeah,
don't know.
it's too hard to call, and a long way away as well. Hope you enjoyed the interview. Now, keep it short and sweet, and best of luck in your next season.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Quinn. If you enjoyed this video, then please subscribe to my channel and like the video. It does help a lot. And of course, follow Quincy Crew on Twitter if you haven't already. The next episode will be with Saberlight from Team Undying, where we'll talk about their path moving forwards. If you're wondering about the mustache, by the way, it is not a fashion choice, but instead a suffering, which I'm doing for a greater good. I'm trying to raise money for charity with it, and you can sponsor it down in the description below.